Hey everyone, I'm Ultimate456, you're the Ultimates, and welcome to episode 63 of Let's Platinum Danganronpa V3, Killing Harmony. Yes, there is. Will you trust me, Monkey?
If it turns out I'm wrong, you can blame me all you like. But for now, I need you to trust in my detective work.
I don't believe Tenko would kill herself because of what she said. Okay everyone, I'll see you guys after the seance. She said, see you guys after. I doubt she had a sudden change of heart. Just because we don't know how she was killed, doesn't mean that it was suicide. We shouldn't be satisfied with that, and if we keep thinking, we'll find the truth. And that means we have to believe in Tenko. I'll make them all believe. Alright, another non-stop debate. How to make someone believe. You gotta lie. Alright, let's listen.
So far, suicide seems to be the best explanation.
Her plan was to take us down with her. So she hid her true intentions.
Tenko's not that kind of person! But if Tenko did commit suicide, it would explain how she died during the seance. She could have secretly brought the sickle, and then stabbed herself with it!
Finally, with the last of her strength, she threw the sickle underneath the floor. All the pieces fit.
There's something that's so annoying about this part. It's like, how the hell did she stab herself with a sickle in her neck? Like, how? You would have, if she committed, seppuku, she would have stabbed herself in the stomach. I mean, she's an Aikido master, so she knows about the martial arts and all that kind of stuff. Plus, it would be, dishonorable and all that kind of, that's getting into more stuff, but yeah. Anyway, everyone thinks that Tenko committed suicide, but only because they're latching onto the easiest answer. To get out of this, I need to make them think their suicide theory wouldn't work.
So far, suicide seems to be the best explanation.
Alright, let's have a look at Tenko's
Her plan
last
was to take
moments.
us down with her. So she hid her true intentions.
Not that person! But if Tenko did commit suicide, it would explain how she died during the seance. She could have secretly brought the sickle,
Okay.
and then stabbed herself with it.
Finally, with the last of her strength,
Last of her strength. Tenko's last moments changes to Tenko died instantly.
Reveal the truth.
And we hit Kyo's statement of the lie.
Tenko couldn't have thrown the sickle under the floor because she died instantly.
instantly.
Her death might not have been instant, but she couldn't have gone far before she bled out.
I'm certain of it. My investigation determined that she died instantly.
What's your opinion, Maki? I'd like to hear from someone who specializes in murder.
Maki.
You're right. I completely forgot about that important detail. Tenko died instantly.
What?
As an assassin, I specialize in killing my targets swiftly. I have no doubt that Tenko was killed immediately.
Words of a true killer. Pretty sure we can believe everything she said.
Thank you, Maki.
How could you forget that, Maki roll? You better apologize to Shuichi.
Excuse me?
It's okay, Kaito, really. No apology necessary. Anyway, Tenko died so suddenly that she couldn't have gotten rid of the sickle. Knowing that, the theory that she killed herself just doesn't fit, correct?
Just like I thought. Tenko wouldn't commit suicide.
Thank goodness, Himiko.
Which means someone definitely killed Tenko during the seance.
Her suicide was considered because we could not determine how she was killed.
No, there must have been a way. We're gonna figure it out.
Did any of the participants witness anything peculiar during the seance? If you know something, please speak up. It could be the key to solving this mystery.
Not a bad idea. We should remember what happened at the seance. Let me try to remember. I'm sure there's something. I need some kind of clue that will help solve this mystery. Alright. What did happen? There was one peculiar thing that happened during the seance.
Did anything seem out of the ordinary during the seance?
There is something that bothers me. The fact that the seance failed. The ritual was perfect, and yet it failed. How utterly strange.
Now that I think about it, while we were all singing the song, I heard something fall.
I'm more concerned about how dark it got in there. I mean, it was totally pitch black. My job was to relight the candles. Moving along the walls was seriously tough.
Okay, so there are only two statements there. There was an agree statement that Kyo made about the seance being perfect, and there was a counterable, I guess you could say, statement that was made by Himiko about a sound. No, sorry, another agree statement made by Himiko that was to do with something that fell. Well, we heard some sound, so this one's pretty straightforward. It was pitch black during the seance. That limits what could have happened. Just stay calm. Think. There must be some kind of clue. So we get sound during seance. If this was if what Kyo said was a sort of disagree point, then we could hit it with sound during seance as well, probably. Because that wouldn't have made it perfect. Okay. Fire! Got it. I hit it just a little bit under as it fell. I love that, like, I heard something fall and the text is actually falling, the stabbed herself.
Himiko, you think that something fell because of that sound you heard, right?
From you before. Bang. Wasn't it a thunk?
It sounded like something heavy fell down and hit the floor really hard. What could have fallen down?
Fallen down? There wasn't anything on the ceiling that could have fallen down, right?
Am I wrong? I thought something fell, but...
The sound was pretty loud. It did seem like something hit the floorboards.
A loud sound. Like something hitting the floorboards. Maybe that sound had something to do with the other thing that happened in the dark. Alright, this one, I actually think this is a little bit tricky. But the answer, especially because I keep talking about it, is the loose floorboard. So the loose floorboard right below Tenko, it was not loose before the seance. There was dried blood on the bottom part of the floorboard. So it was not loose before the seance, so it moved during the seance. So I guess that's like one way you could work it out as well.
I think the floorboard coming off had something to do with that sound. That floorboard came loose at some point during the seance, right?
Could the floorboard have made such a loud sound, though?
It was the sound of an intense impact.
If the impact was that intense, then it could have loosened the floorboard.
That is true. There would have had to be a strong impact to make that sound. But what was it? What could it possibly be? What could it possibly be?
Alright then, let's go with that. We all gotta put our heads together now.
Okay, another non-stop debate. So, what happened? Well, we have all the clues now, or we have a lot of clues, so we can try and work this
So
out.
what made the floorboard come loose?
Judging from the sound, there must have been considerable force.
Someone who participated in the seance. Maybe that person tore off the floorboard.
That wouldn't make such a loud crashing sound.
Maybe the wooden statue fell over.
But that statue was still on top of the cage.
Culprit hide under floor. Then stood up with such might.
But we already said there was no one under the floor.
Someone must have stomped through the floorboard.
A floorboard that comes loose when you step on it is dangerous. God, it's like I'm the only one here who's staying on the ball.
You hardly have any experience with balls to say that, Mew.
Don't be stupid.
stupid. Don't you know me and Balls are the best of friends?
Me and Balls are the best of friends, and it has an agree point as well. Alright. What would have made a strong enough impact to knock the floorboard loose? If I think about everyone's testimony and combine it with the facts.
So what made the floorboard come loose?
Alright, so we know about the crosspiece under the floor.
There must have been considerable force.
And it was removed. So the floorboard wasn't torn off.
Maybe the wooden statue fell over.
That didn't happen.
But that was on top of cake.
Tied under floor. Then stood up
This
with
one's so
such
funny.
might.
Nope,
But we already said there
that didn't happen either.
Someone must have stomped.
This did happen though.
I agree.
Someone must have stomped through the floorboard.
Kokichi is right. The floorboard came loose because someone stomped on it.
But floorboards fit perfect. Going to make sure first time we go to empty room.
When we first saw the room, yes. But when I looked again during the investigation, one of the cross pieces supporting the floorboards was cut off. After examining the cut, I concluded that it must have been done deliberately.
So I'll just point this out. So there are a bunch of cross pieces underneath the floor, but the floorboards that are sitting on top of the cross pieces are not nailed down. They're just kind of like sitting on top. So if you cut the cross piece, then you can stomp on one of the floorboards, that part will go down, and then the other part will go up.
Someone? You mean the culprit, right? Why'd they do that?
What did the culprit stand to gain by cutting the cross piece?
What did they stand to gain? That's the question. To solve this case, I'll need to think carefully about the crosspiece and floorboard. Okay, here's a good diagram. Tenko's body was at one end of the loose floorboard, and the crosspiece that had been cut was on the other end of the floorboard. The unsupported part was outside the cage, so it could have been stomped on. Only one of the cross pieces was cut, the other two were intact. One of them was right under Tenko, and the other one was in the center, right about where the edge of the cage was. What was the culprit attempting to achieve by stomping on the floorboard? Think. Come on, think. Alright, this one's actually kind of tough. It does make sense when you... Hang on a sec. I'm gonna try and... Come on. Damn, missed. So the answer is that they were trying to achieve a seesaw effect. Oh wow, that is a big difference. By the way, when I was practicing this just yesterday, I didn't have the ability that causes the light to shine more frequently during this game, and it is like 3 times as fast.
Right. The floorboard might have been used as a seesaw.
A seesaw?
The crosspiece at one end of the floorboard had been cut off. The other 2 cross pieces holding up that board were close to the cage. Meaning, if you were to apply force to the end of the floorboard with no crosspiece, the next crosspiece would act as a fulcrum to turn the floorboard into a lever. A lever capable of lifting up Tenko's entire body.
Her whole body lifted up?
Yeah, that sounds like a seesaw, all right. But why bother lifting Tenko's body?
They couldn't have killed Tenko like that. Unless they used the sickle.
That's exactly it. Using the seesaw trick, it was possible to kill Tenko with a sickle.
Huh? How?
In order for the culprit to kill Tenko with a seesaw trick, the placement of the sickle is the most important factor.
The floorboard seesaw, the cage, and the blood on the white fabric. What conclusions can I draw from this? There's only one place the sickle could have been that is consistent with the evidence. Where was the sickle when Tenko was killed? Next to the cage? No. Underneath the floorboard? No. Between the victim and the floorboard? No. The sickle was at the top of the cage.
That's it! The sickle was at the top of the iron cage, with the blade facing down. The reason we didn't see it was because of the fabric covering the cage. Also, the wooden statue kept the blade in place. It's true that the sickle's handle was thick, which made the statue wobble, but the statue's weight kept it from falling over. Once everything was in place, if you stepped hard enough on the seesaw, Tenko's body would have shot upward and hit the blade on the top of the cage.
Damn, what a way to die, man. You don't even know. You're like crouched down and you're actually just barely surviving because you're keeping crouched down, and then someone seesaws your neck into a sickle blade.
She was bent over, meaning the sickle's blade would have connected with her neck.
The 6-inch sickle blade wasn't long enough to stab Tenko in her crouch position. But with the floorboard acting as a seesaw, it could compensate for the blade's length.
Bringing the victim to the sickle rather than bringing the sickle to the victim. That's definitely an unorthodox idea.
It's crazy, but it would explain how Tenko got stabbed while she was in the cage.
So the sound we heard was the culprit stomping on the floorboard.
That impact make floorboard come loose.
Looks like we got ourselves a good old-fashioned seesaw homicide.
Homicide?
Wait, what the hell's a seesaw homicide? That's fucking crazy!
The craziness is what really makes the killing game fun, you know? They can't get away with murder the normal way, so they gotta think outside the box. Kudos, culprit! You did a great job keeping me entertained.
Indeed. Well played, Himiko.
Yeah?
It was you, wasn't it? The one behind the seesaw homicide.
Huh? Why her?
Because she's the only one capable of carrying out this plan.
The only one? Why's that?
Because this seesaw homicide required its location to be prepared beforehand.
By cutting the crosspiece beneath the floorboard, you mean?
Then the culprit would need to lure their victim into the prepared room. That is why you chose that room for the seance. Is it not, Himiko?
However, there are 3 empty rooms. Which one shall we use? The middle room. The middle room's always best for stuff like this.
Oh yeah! Himiko was the one who chose the site for the seance!
She likely found out about my plans for the seance somehow.
You were quite vocal about the seance, Kyo. You even had instructions for it in your lab.
Our culprit, Himiko, prepared her seesaw trap ahead of time.
Look at this photo of Himiko. That's interesting.
Then she waited for me to host the seance and suggested the middle room. She led us all into holding the seance right where she wanted it. Then, she killed Tenko, all according to plan.
That's a lie, right? Himiko did such a thing?
In the end, Himiko, who Tenko cherished and loved, tragically killed her.
Wait! We don't know that, right? He's wrong, right, Himiko? Himiko would never kill Tenko, right?
Kill Tenko? I killed Tenko?
Himiko?
What's wrong, Himiko?
It is true that using the middle room was Himiko's idea. But does that mean that Himiko really killed Tenko? Would something like that really happen? Something so cruel? Alright, man, we made it to halfway. Or, well, the sort of technically halfway. We're at 20 minutes. I'm going to go through this bit and we'll stop in a moment. Do you want to save? Oh, actually, no, we'll stop here. I'll save. We'll see this first line and then I'll stop. Man, this is a long trial.
Well now.
Alright, so we'll leave things here and we'll continue next time. It's starting to get really interesting. I want to thank you all for watching episode 63 of Less Platinum Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. My name is Ultima456, you're the Ultimates. And I'll see you next time. Wow, I suck at the outro.